Live. Good morning. I'm Pio. This is the Nifty Alpha. I'm here with my special compadre, my special co-host, Easy Eats Bodega for our Saturday Solana show. This is the NFT Market and Trade Talk show where we dive deep into the different projects that are floating around the NFT space, talking about our wins, talking about our losses, and talking about the speculation of what's next. If you enjoyed this content, make sure that you smash the subscribe button and definitely like the video. We appreciate the support. Easy, how you doing this morning?
Doing well, doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I always look forward to this show. I look forward to learning what is going on in the Solana universe. It sounds like today we're talking about 3 projects, maybe a 4th: Solana Town, Panzer Dogs, and Degen coin flip. Is that right?
That is exactly correct.
Okay. So let's start with Panzer Dogs. What's the story with these?
Yeah, so this was an actually rather interesting drop. Panzer Dogs is a project that is play to earn. The game is live today. It's made by a mobile and web-based company called Lucky Cat Studios, I believe is the official name. So they have a variety of experience in both mobile and desktop applications, functionality, games, all that fun stuff. So that banner you actually see right there is part of a screenshot from the game. They released the alpha of the game before the mint, so you could actually play it live, test it out, see what's going on. It's some form of, I guess, battle royale style play. So the nice thing about that is it really lets you kind of play against other people. Right now, it's only against non-player characters. It was a one soul mint, 5,555, which is actually kind of high when it comes to the Solana space. I know we've talked about this a lot. A lot of these stealth mints are normally like a 1K total, and you'll even do like a 0.5, 0.3 lower kind of drop here. So that was a really interesting thing. Was this was a one soul mint at 555, and it sold out in about 15 minutes. So that was really impressive in my opinion, because many times those drops will mint very very slowly. That can be kind of a negative. Some people see it as, especially with ETH selling out a lot of things in 10K projects in 10 minutes. People go crazy. So it's like the money's a little bit different. The situations are a little bit different. You got to get used to that. But this project caught my eye because Game Studio was very strong. The actual backing team, the co-founder of Panzer Dogs, is the COO of Sandbox.
Oh,
So
wow.
Sebastian, I forget what his last name is here. I could probably find it. It
So
was
the COO of Sandbox is involved with this project.
yeah, he's the co-founder, advisor, co-founder, and some form of funding, I guess, as well. But yeah, so he's directly involved. So it's taken quite a hit here. It's down to about a zero point 0.5 floor. It's just the lack of attention span that many have, sadly. They released like a 4-page announcement that really left a lot to be desired. It was kind of just buzzwords, blank conversation, no real like this is what we're delivering on. But I'm still holding all 7 of mine. I'm still very bullish on it. They've got tank parts dropping soon, so that tank you see will actually be customizable. Your character on the top right is your actual NFT, and they did release a version. It's supposed to be dogs. They said that some cats infiltrated, so it makes me curious what that's going to play as. Cats are 0.8% of the total supply, so I think those have a much higher floor. They are most likely going to be holding play to earn games, tournaments, releasing a token to actually buy and upgrade your, I believe they call them commanders, your Panzer Dog, along with upgrading that tank. So as you can even see there, there's even talks of like a single player version where you go through some form of storyline as well as that PTE. So in my opinion, it's taken a hit just because of the way the space is right now. Like we're seeing just a lot of weird movement. For those that follow me on Twitter, you'll notice too, I've shared a lot of these links of these like punk derivatives that are all popping up on Solana right now and taking a lot of that liquidity from other projects. So it's just, in my opinion, I'm probably going to be a buyer if this goes any lower. 50% off, in my opinion, higher mint cost for sure, higher quantity for sure. But when you're backed by the CEO of Sandbox, it makes me very bullish in general, especially for a game like this that can most likely be replicated within Sandbox.
Very interesting. And so, wow, I'm looking at okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these Solana projects, they lose steam, it seems. the attention span, like you said, is really low. But I'd imagine that since this one has the COO of Sandbox as a co-founder, that this would be something that people could be comfortable buying into, especially at a half ETH soul floor, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of the interesting thing though here was, to your point, everyone kind of loses that attention span. So then you see projects rip back in value. The other interesting thing was not many people were talking about that COO being a co-founder. It seemed like they almost kept it under wraps. We're not broadcasting it heavily. Some people did a little bit of research into Lucky Cat Studios itself. Tim Cook is on their banner as like stopping by the studio.
Hmm.
So they have a lot of the right people involved in this team, this project, and this idea. So for me, it's like there's a much higher upside than there is downside at this point for the project, especially with a working demo. The bar of entry is so low when it comes to Solana at the moment, with just so many open promises. Even I know we've talked about it on previous shows. We've had conversations where it's like, if you can even release something like a metrics tool, your project will sell out in a matter of minutes because there's just such a lack of utility when it comes to the space and because of how easy it is to deploy a project.
For sure. And I mean, yeah, the fact that they have a working demo is interesting. Another pixel art project, though, in this case, because there's a game, I can kind of understand it. It seems like, a pretty sizable percentage of the projects that we talk about here on Solana are pixel art. Is that fair?
Yeah, so for some reason, it seems like the pixel art tends to get most of the traction. A lot of people just really like that style. We've seen some 3D projects like Rogue Sharks, and even one that's coming out today is a similar one to the one on ETH Bulls Society or Bulls Club or something along those lines.
Crypto Bulls
But the
Society,
yeah, it's
ETH
similar to that.
project. Yeah.
But there's a soul version of that, so very similar. I think it's like a bulls on a block type thing, but 3D avatars, and a lot of people just aren't interested. For some reason, that pixel art really makes people kind of associate it to blockchain and NFTs, especially in the space that's much smaller. I think right now Solana is at like 20% of total wallets that ETH has. So the space is still so young that it's a nice kind of insight into it, but at the same time, because of that lack of liquidity, you get things like this. This in all intents and purposes is a good project. Cost was there, but working product, a multi-member team, a variety of people in the ETH space, in the metaverse space that all have direct hands in this space and understand it. And yet this just got a 50% haircut off the mint cost. So for me, once that play to earn actually rolls out, I know I've been in a few discords where people are talking a lot and they're saying in Discord you'll find a lot of like poker nights and other kind of games that people play. Once they roll out 3 versus 3, player versus player kind of style, I could definitely see tournaments within DAOs and other kind of functionality where you can end up winning the token from this project. And it also provides that game aspect, having kind of DAOs go against each other with their respective tanks and things like that. So a lot of upside potential. I think that that announcement that they dropped was a disappointment. A lot of people were hoping for, yeah, we're dropping tank parts soon or we're dropping the token soon. And instead it was just kind of like, stick with us. We're still here. We have a team. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really help a ton.
Okay, fair enough. So low entry point on this one. I was just on Magic Eden taking a look at that. I took a quick peek actually while I was on Magic Eden on a new Neon, which I bought into the other day, and I was really pleased to see that we're down 60% on that. Explain yourself, Easy Eats. Why are
Hey,
we down?
I'm still buying. Don't you worry. I'm waiting for them. Between us, we got some alpha coming out from their team that should make that minting process a little bit easier for all. So even setting up those candy machines that some that don't have the development experience don't feel as comfortable with should be alleviated here. So I'm excited for what's to come with that. But it's still, to your point, it's just a lot of people exiting projects and like just trying to get liquid for what's next, what's coming up. So that's really the tough part. It's like low wallet sizes, total account. A lot of that liquidity is between those numbers. Not as many new members entering the space. Like when you hear people entering the space in general, it's always ETH first. It's just the one that has that strong arm right now. We're even in our Discord, like the ones that I'm a part of, and then even in your Discord, the Nifty Alpha one, it's like that soul channel has picked up probably 100% in the last 3 weeks, just
Hmm.
because so many people are interested in it now. You have so many people hopping in, like this is my first project. And at times I feel bad because it's like I don't want to tell you to sell quickly and recognize profit more often than not. But that's kind of the play right now. And I even said it yesterday. It's sadly at the moment with Solana in general, it's take profits frequently and quickly and keep it moving. I take a shotgun approach, like I keep saying. I buy almost everything because I have the bankroll to do it at the moment. And even like yesterday, it's that punk derivative kind of BS that's happening right now. I minted 11 Chinese punks and they went all the way up to 1.6 Sol from point 0.1. So when you do that math alone, that's a 10 plus Sol trade, and it wiped everything, including the 3 rugs, and that was up 300%.
It's called Chinese punks.
Go go to the main page right now. I was following the saga till 2 a.m. last night, just having a blast watching this unfold. So I got out about an
It's
hour after
on
the
Magic
project
Eden.
on the popular collections page. Yeah, so if you click the main homepage, just click the Magic Eden button. Scroll down a little bit. You'll actually see right next to it is also
Russian punks.
Keep going down. Keep going down. It's the wildest week. Yep, Chinese punks and Arab punks back to back is the top 2. So all of
Dude,
these are 0.1 minutes. It makes no sense. This space is insane right now. It has to be a joke. So in the wildest part, there's a trait in this called John Cena, Xina, and it's like a John Cena meme of it. And they're like a 10 Sol floor. Like if you go to the filters, it's absurd right now. So these got just absolutely pumped too. So I'm talking, like I said, minted 7 at 0.1. Someone sent the link. Their Twitter had like 100 followers. It was the most degen play. I was like, I'm basically just gonna burn a soul here, whatever. And then they got on Magic Eden and just absolutely moonshot. Just ripped all the way to 1.6, pulled back to 1, back to 1.3, and then Magic Eden delisted them because people were calling like evidently like this is kind of racist.
So they were just racist.
Like, yeah, like just to be kind of blunt, like it's pretty damn racist. And they pulled it, and then they made a huge fuss about it, and they got put back on. So it's like, in my opinion, a lot of these punk derivatives are like just pure cash grabs. But I'm gonna play the pump because you can get in and out of projects for literally no cost on Sol. So it's easy to take gambles.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, real quick on this one. So that was an 18x for you. Did you sell the top?
I scaled out from 1.3 to 1.6, and then my last one I sold at 1.4 on the pullback.
So it was a 13x or so. Okay.
Right around there, yeah. Yeah, it was a 10 plus Sol trade on that.
How did you find out about it?
Just being in Discords, you'll get a random person who sends a link and is like, this is so dumb, but it might work. And so then you just hop in. And the big thing is, like, I've said it to you too, and I say it a lot when people ask, like, how do I trade? I'm a very big volume trader. So, like, I'm actively watching the secondary to see if there's movement. Is there more buyers than sellers? What's going on with it? And this project, when things have like these higher counts, like that was 3,333, it's not going to sell out in a minute. So the benefit is you can kind of see how that's trending. As soon as it hit the 500 mark, I refreshed my tab once and it was up to 870 sold. So it just took off like a rocket from there, opened up 15 tabs and just started minting because I was like, if this is going to go this fast, it'll get listed. People are going to FOMO. I'll at least 2x because those Russian punks went to like a 4x. Arab punks got up to a 5 Sol floor from 0.1, so they did a 500x. It's just like, for some reason right now, people love the meme. People just love these jokes. It's short-lived in my opinion. And yet the sad thing is, because there's such limited people, it really does hurt projects like Panzer Dogs and even Solana Town, which face these bad pullbacks despite having utility.
Yeah, I haven't hit on any of these 10x plays on Solana Easy. What's the meaning of this?
I'll try to share them more often. I'm sorry. It's just activity. But hey, the way you've been killing ETH right now, you don't even need the 10x's.
No, I do. I do need them. And it's just, I mean, the multiplier is the multiplier. Even if the Sol bags start really small, like the 10x is the 10x, the 15x is the 15x, and I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, it's about being early, right? I mean, that's what it's about. It's about being there right as it breaks. Do you ever, so here's a question, because someone here, said something about like, watch out for scams on Solana. And we all know, we discuss it all the time. You get rugged all the time participating in the space. One thing that I thought about though is there a situation where you connect your Phantom wallet to Mint and that compromises the wallet and they can steal the assets in the wallet?
Slightly different. So you can actually see what you're approving in full before you hit that accept. So I'm what some call a slower minter because I do look at that transaction before I hit accept, and it'll show you if NFTs are leaving the wallet, if more than what the mint cost is leaving. So it shows what that transaction is before it happens. So that's kind of a nice thing where, like, unlike OpenSea or ETH where you press accept, all it is like a Unicode on the blockchain. This will actually say like minus NFT, minus project name 1234 plus cash ad or whatever Sol minus the Sol amount before you accept it. So that's one of the nice things is that compromised aspect, not so much because you're only accepting one singular transaction. They did have an issue where it was a little bit too easy with Phantom to turn on auto approve, which in
Mm,
that case you can get drained in a matter of minutes because every
mhm.
transaction from one browser is accepted. So like I never have auto approve on only for Magic Eden. It's a trusted site and it lets me kind of buy quicker because you only have one click buying rather than having to accept the term or the contract. So that's a great question though, but it's also why I always say create a burner wallet in the Phantom wallet. You can make a wallet in 15 seconds by just simply pressing add new wallet. Move whatever soul you're comfortable literally losing. You have to be totally okay losing. Like I said, I got rugged 3 times in one day this past week. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was pissed. I was sitting there like, this sucks. Like I'm out like 7 sol. That's that's like $1,400. Just
Yeah.
poof. Very next day though, I hit on 3 straight projects, 5x, 6x, 7x, right away, right back up in the green for the 2 days. And then yesterday did that 10 sol trade. So that's like it happens. It's part of the game. It's why I take that shotgun approach. Don't get me wrong. Everyone has emotions. I was pissed, but I bounced back. There's so many opportunities every day. It's tough to stay away.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So, back on the and one last strategy question: when you mint these things, since you know that they're like they pump and then they go back down, do you list them right after you mint them?
Some. It really depends on that project. So there's actually a lot of times where I'll wait. I'll mint only a couple, and if I see that secondary not catching bids right away, I'll wait till buyers step in and try to buy under mint, knowing that it'll pump back up. Yesterday there was a project called Stock Tyler's, which was a guy named Tyler took 2,200 pictures of himself, all with varying attributes, posted it, sold out in like 4 minutes, traded all the way down to zero point 0.5 from a 1 sol mint, and then pumped back up to like 1.1, 1.2. So when it hit that zero point 0.5, I saw the floor just getting absolutely eaten, anything under that. So I bought a couple at like 0.55, 0.6, and then flipped them around the 0.8, 0.9 mark. And I was fine with, wasn't anything crazy, probably like $100, $200 trade. It's just a nice kind of scalp, gets you in the market, gets you comfortable with it. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to find exactly that. And so to your point, it's some projects I'll list right away, especially if the floor is like 5 or 6 sol out the gates and buyers are present right away. I'll try to liquidate. But if buyers are not as present and you're getting a lot more sellers, I'll try to see where it settles and actually dollar cost average in.
Okay, okay. So moving on to the second project we're going to talk about today, Solana Town. What is the story with Solana Town?
Yeah, so this project's actually, in my opinion, one I'm really excited about. Portals gives you apartments, items, renderings. This is in its alpha stage. They released 1,000 plots of land, much like a Decentraland or Sandbox, but it's an open world already ready to go. So you can actually play the alpha version without the NFT. I currently own a house in this. Inside the house, you can put NFTs on the walls. People can walk in and out, like you can see below. This is all open world though, so only one server at the moment. Multiple people can join. They've already anticipated releasing things like vehicles, additional avatars in the game, so your NFTs will be playable. It's starting to slowly scale it up, so we're starting to really see a lot of these metaverse style plays here. So for me, it's kind of a nice change of pace because we're finally being able to see actual utility and the ability to have a rolling product. Like right there's a Jelly Beast, which is an NFT on Sol, and that's already out present day. So they're letting that be a playable character. It's
Lost you for a second, bud. Uh-oh. Easy getting rugged for the fourth time this week. This time
Can you hear
getting
me?
rugged. Yeah, I can hear you. You
There
almost
we
got
go.
rugged for the fourth time.
Oh man, that would have been terrible. But yeah, no, I was saying too, like it's much like the voxels and sandbox and things like that, where you have those playable characters. So right now they released 2 house styles that lets you actually kind of create your house, put the NFTs in it, do some fun things like that. I'm excited to see what they're going to roll out. This was a project I was really excited for. They did a stealth launch for 1 sol at like midnight Eastern time, sold out in probably 15, 20 minutes. Wasn't that fast, but the nice thing is it's a working product. So it's kind of like this is something I'm excited for. I'm excited to see Solana taking this change of pace, and you're actually getting real things that are not just theory or what if speak and like game coming soon. Perfect examples like Run Run Chicken was supposed to be the Wolf game on Sol. Day one sold out. They've now pushed the game out a week and it was supposed to be staking today.
It's
absolutely
over.
annihilated the floor. Yeah, it's like a 0.18, 0.2 floor from a zero point 0.7 mint. So I only minted one because I had some hesitation on it because everyone kept asking for screenshots and they refused to give any. So that was an interesting play. But something like this, it's like there's so much more room for growth in a metaverse here where Solana really lacks that. So yeah, you can see too, you can build, get a plot of land, all that fun jazz. And I think they're going to continue to expand what you can actually build, what assets go in the house. The dev team obviously seems very competent with being able to actually create this somewhat small but working world. I think on midnight they had 120 total people in the world, and it was functioning more or less fine, which was nice to see. The plot of land was a 1 sol mint. It's now currently holding a 5 sol floor, so it's actually not doing terrible. And they already have the sol chairs integration in play, so you can sit, which is kind of funny. So I just think they're going to continue to roll some stuff out like that, incorporating other projects and letting them be even functional utility in the game.
So this one's interesting to me because of the whole metaverse trend right now, and it does look like someone cares about this, right? There's at least there's some sort of level of effort that is being put into this project, obviously. So what's the floor on this? Like, how do I get exposure? Are we going to Magic Eden to check this out, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so it's on Magic Eden. I just saw it's a 3 floor now. I think it had a high of 7. So honestly, if this starts getting under that 3 sol, even closer to like 2 or 1, I'm gonna probably buy more land. I just really do like this play. I'm still holding my portals. I'm very, very bullish on these kind of metaverse on soul type of potentials because those transaction fees, once again, being able to incorporate other NFTs, gamify aspects, drive things where that transaction on the Solana network are incorporated is so much cheaper than something on like an ETH or even what we're seeing with Decentraland and Sandbox is just completely separate networks. So yeah, 3.2, still a 3x right now. I bought in on secondary at 4.3, so I'm down on it. Could honestly care less. This is one that I'm just going to probably hold on to forever. Just very curious what they can do with it because in those previews, you see cars, you see more houses, you see stores. So it seems like they have some idea on what they want to do with it. It's just how it's going to roll out.
So when did this come out?
3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
And so when you buy this resident token, is that buying
A plot of land.
that's a plot of land?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Probably the cheapest metaverse NFT plot of land you can buy in the whole NFT space right now,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, easily. Yeah. Portals is back above 10. Obviously, Sandbox Land is a couple ETH. You got Decentraland is up there too. This is right around that $600-700 mark right now.
So this is the cheapest. It's even cheaper than, what's it called? World Wide Web land.
Yep.
This is cheap. Okay. All right. Well, this is interesting. I just looked at my wallet. I have no soul, which I'm like, wait a minute. I'm
Oh,
like,
and you might have to change the network back and forth because sometimes it won't show it in there. There's an issue with Phantom that they're rolled out a bug or a patch for. So you switch it to like mainnet and then back to testnet, and it should show.
oh, let me check this out real quick, just because I thought I had two. Well, because look, I feel like I bought one of the things that you showed me. I made a tiny, tiny profit on it. Then I bought Portal. You bought that off of me, but then I bought the two new neons, but those were only one each. So it's saying that I have $6 of Soul right now. I'm trying to remember though if maybe on Coinbase I have
Mm.
I think I might have it on my Coinbase. Let me check it out. Sorry, everybody, to derail the show, but this is like an interesting this token town thing is interesting to me. So, do I have any Solana here? I mean, come on. Okay, so I do have two Soul. I have two Soul on Coinbase that I could inject into my Phantom wallet. So that's why I was thinking I had two Soul. So, is there anything for me to buy with two Soul that where number go up easy?
Right now, I would honestly not be buying anything aside from mints. It's definitely mint and flip season. There was just a mint right now, and that may have been why my connection went a little haywire. I minted a burb, which is similar
And
once
you
again
didn't
to the.
tell me? You didn't tell me you're minting?
I think they're still minting, but it's the same like run chicken thing. It's like if they actually get staking out, it'll move. But for point 0.7, I don't even think it's worth the cost. I'm just kind of burning some soul here. It's burning a hole in my pocket.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's been interesting. It's definitely mint and flip season on Soul. It's also mint and get rug season right next to it. So it's a ton of fun.
Degen coin flip is going.
So this project was one I missed, and I've never been so angry in my life to miss it. I watched it, I followed them, I tweeted at them, tried to get their attention, and just completely missed this. Just absolutely dropped the ball. It went 0.33 mint, so obviously 14 sol floor now. This
Wow.
project is the most degen play I think you could ever create for a project. The website was live. It's currently down because they went server side. So what that means is they're doing all the code on your local machine, which is a big issue, obviously, because you can adjust that in browser. And someone was able to take them for $350,000. They gave it all back. It was a white hat hacker, thankfully. But their website is literally just a coin flip. You're betting heads or tails. That's it. You can bet point 0.1, 0.5, or 1 sol,
And
and
what
you either win or
happened?
you lose. You flip the coin,
Okay.
it's either heads or tails, and you either 2x or lose it all. There's no in between.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they take 3.5% of every single bet, every coin flip, everything there. And that gets sent back to holders of the coins. So there was a point before that hacker exploit was shared that these were only two listed on Magic Eden, like 1 and 2, that's it, for 29 and 30 sol. And the one right before it at 27 sol sold. So up until that
Damn.
exploit, these were just going to continue to move, which to me doesn't make a ton of sense because the royalties you're getting are only like 0.35, 0.36 every like 3 or 4 days. So the cost will pay for itself, which is cool and all. But it's the same thing with some of these other projects that are like, we'll pay back all royalties to holders. You need consistent volume to make that money back. In this space, people lose interest way too quickly. So having something like this that's a fun game, it's cool and all, it's not going to be around forever. It's a simple game, which is nice, but I think a lot of people will lose interest sooner than later on that. And that's kind of what causes some concern. I think that 0.33 floor was a great mint cost. I personally would have sold that 5 when it hit secondary right away because I had no idea what would happen with it. I have a few friends who bought in at 8 and 9, still holding. They're totally content holding. They're set that once that exploit is fixed, this will go to 20. I have no idea what to expect from it. It's a degen play, and it says it in the name.
Well, it's interesting to me how many of these projects get exploited these days, but okay. I mean, Degen coin flip, very interesting. Are there any projects coming out that are legitimate? Like meaning good team, actual good team, and maybe like a solid, just like a solid investment. Anything coming out?
Well, that was the thing. Panzer Dogs just looked great. Like everything that was like everyone I've talked to has been like, if this was on ETH, this would have sold out and done exceptionally well. Doc's team, someone who's huge in the space with Sebastian being the COO of Sandbox as a co-founder. It's like these are all metrics for success. And yet on Sol, it took a 50% haircut. So now I'm sitting here like none of this makes any sense. You could have made a 40% profit if you sold right out of the gates on Panzers. I'm still holding mine. I mean, we're even seeing a lot of the comments here too, like We Are Walrus, Komodo Dragons, Squishy Squad. Some of these two I've heard all the names of, but a lot of this right now is just like token hype. Everyone's talking about staking a contract, receiving back your items, receiving back a third NFT and a token, and then being able to use that token for something specific to the NFT. In my opinion, something like Degen coin flip is better utility because you're actually getting royalties from a live functioning game until that exploit happens. So it's such an interesting space because it does not follow the norms of ETH. It does not follow the norms of the market that many people consider. It's very different when it comes to that. A lot of people are flippers. There's a lot of botters still present until they can solve that. And it's kind of causing these illiquid situations where good projects just get cut because people don't want to wait. I don't have patience for 2 weeks. I'd rather get my soul out now and find something that'll 10x tomorrow because there's quite literally a 10x every day in this space. And it moves so fast that if you're not on Discord for 12 hours a day, then you're going to miss a bunch of stuff. And one of those could be a 100x play.
Amir is saying that Boss Bulls Club is like Crypto Bull Society and Solana minting starts 4 hours from now.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned it earlier on the show. What do you think?
So this was a project I was actually aggressively fudding to start, like aggressively fudding. I was in the Discord talking to some guy. We were going back and forth, and I was like, why would I mint this nonsense? Like a 1.25 mint a 10K project on Sol.
9,999.
Yeah, like
Holy
looks
shit.
insane. Like that's an absolutely ludicrous number. The other thing that bothered me was I did do my research on this. So many times when people are like, do your own research, I finally did. I dove into their website, read through the full roadmap and white paper, hopped in the Discord. Discord activity is good, but it's severely botted. They mentioned 40K members. They have less online members than the Nifty Alpha Discord because I shared the invite right next to it and we looked and there's more online users on the Nifty Alpha than there was on something with almost an 8x of total users. So that alone makes me always cautious because if you're going to pump your numbers, what's the goal of that? Is it just to drive hype and sell out? 1.25 Sol cost with Sol being down so bad right now, we're at like 170. That's actually not a terrible price, surprisingly, especially when it tends to be like 240 range. The quality on the art is good, especially for a 3D avatar. But it's reminds me so much of like Jungle Cats and Rogue Sharks. Granted, both of those were a 7K and a 10K, and Rogue Sharks traded 5 to 7 floor, and Jungle Cats traded 3 to 4. So they did do some decent volume. I'm gonna watch this one, keep an eye on it, and try to figure out how it's moving. If it does pick up steam, then I'll probably mint one just as a flyer and see what happens. But personally, it's just a 10K on Solana is tough, especially when good projects that are half that supply are going under mint cost. It wouldn't shock me if this did the same thing.
What's the roadmap? They're trying to hype up their roadmap here. What's going on there?
Let's take a look. If you want to click it, we could take a quick look here. This is an interesting one because they talk so much about play to earn in a game, but there's zero details on what that game could be. So the boss token, this is what bothered me, a play to earn game that users will be able to use their boss to play, upgrade, and mint new NFTs. What bothers me about that is, what is the game? Am I going to be playing Flappy Bird with my bull? Am I going to be fighting other bulls? Am I going to be racing on a virtual car with the bull? There's zero context. What I like is the metaverse ready though, because they have teased that bull a lot in the coming weeks that I was pretty interested in. That's kind of cool, especially if they can actually roll it out for like a Decentraland. The incubator being a launch pad is something we see a lot. I mean, Solana Monkey Business has a launch pad. Thugbirds has a launch pad. Turtles NFT has a launch pad. TreeDAO does partnerships for launch pads. Those are all present. Like these things are not that shocking or kind of positive in my eyes. And what really bothered me was the token. It's like, that's awesome. You have a token. It's cool. You said the buzzword play to earn. What are we playing to earn? Because once again, we look at Panzer Dogs, half the supply, less cost, trading at 50% haircut, and the game's live. You can actually play the game today.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the art is good. Do we know anything about the artist or like who made it?
No, so not a Docs team. It's all internal, I guess. You could probably actually scroll up and hit the teams at the top. I didn't see a Docs team, but I think that, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, legendary artist. So, like, this is always the worst stuff too, because it's once again, I know I keep bringing up Panzer Dogs, but it's just like the space makes no sense because that team literally is fully doxed. They said what studio's making the game. They call out a COO of a $1 billion metaverse company now, and 50% haircut. And you look here, we got Boss Bull, Senior Bull, Git Bull, and more Bull. In my opinion, this sounds like bullshit, if you want to be honest here. Oh, man.
I mean, the art is like good for 3D art and it looks like somebody cared about it, but it's like, so 1.25 Sol, 9,999. So that's how much and how much is Sol right now?
Like 170.
So that's, wow, they're going to bag up on this. That's 2.1 million. That's
yeah.
like,
Oh, they're going to cake.
That's uncommon for Solana, right?
Very, very, very much so. But that's the thing. Like we saw a fair launch for Rogue Sharks, and they netted 1.3 mil. They still have a team, still have a project, haven't rugged. Same idea though. If honestly, like these Jungle Cats and Rogue Sharks all look like they were made from the same exact process. Like they all look the same. One's a bull, one's a shark, one's a lion or a tiger. It just doesn't do it for me, you know? Yeah, and you'll see here, like these look just like it.
Let's see.
Oh, nice.
Website 2.0 launching
Sick.
soon.
Yeah, buy a shark, I guess. Awesome, great. That's real helpful.
That's good. Let's go to solanaart.io. All
There we
right,
go.
let me just see, because it's not out of the question that they're all the same creators.
It
If
could
all
be.
the
So look at
teams,
these too.
yeah. Well,
See what I mean?
yeah. uh, yeah. I mean, it's like basically the same. It's
It's just
basically the
high
same.
detail 3D renderings, and Jungle Cats is the same exact one. And those are also on Solana if you want to take a look here. But yeah, it's just like detail's great and all. It's a 3D avatar project. This was a fair launch that settled at 1.5, got a high of 5. Did see even some sell at
So,
10 for rares.
so it was a win. If you
Yeah, for
minted, it
sure.
was a win.
Still a win. It's still a win. I think the floor was like 2.8, 2.9. So like even if you held, you can sell. This is the same idea though. Like they're talking about making an action figure physical that you can have delivered to you, which oddly enough, Boss Bulls also mentioned in their roadmap. So it's like, at what point are we getting some overlap here? And yeah, see in the chat here, another good one's Unirex City, also a 3D kind of rendering that's a T-Rex. All of these, in my opinion, and Unirex is actually under mint. Yeah, little bit worse kind of art style, I guess you could say, but same idea. 3D avatar. This one's going to be a comic book that they're releasing around these. It's just I don't know. For some reason, this is back to what you had said earlier. The pixels. Why do people like the pixel art? Because at least pixel art can be original, no matter how bad it is. You know, like at any point, people are like, "Oh, this art is great," but it's like you guys are all just using the same art rendering system at this point.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, like it is hard to navigate the space. It's hard to figure out what's a rug, what's not, what you should buy, what you shouldn't. Would it be fair to say that this Bulls project, since it's 9,999 at 1.25, this is going to be like a case study in the demand for a mint on Solana and then the secondary market performance afterwards, considering the high volume and the high price?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's like exactly right. It's going to be a good indication of where the market is right now. I think honestly, if it doesn't sell out in the first 30 minutes, it's going to be a real slow mint. They'll probably have to cap the upside on it. It's going to be interesting because even when I went in the Discord, there's some activity, but like there's so many Discords with only a few hundred followers that are 10 times more active. So that's a big indication for me. I'm gonna keep an eye on this mint just because seeing what some of these other ones have done out of the gate, like even Unirex did a 3x. So just watching that is a good indication. If they do pick up some speed, I'll throw a flyer out there and mint one just to have some exposure to it, shotgun approach style. But overall, I'm not very bullish on the Bulls.
All right. Well, you heard it from the man himself, the Solana samurai, the Solana specialist, the Solana celebrity, Easy Eats Bodega. We always love having him on the show. Catch him here on the weekend, Solana Saturday, Solana Sunday. He's in the Solana section of the Nifty Alpha Discord, which is Soul Trades on the left side. If you want to see where he's hanging out, he's in there. He's also in your favorite or your Solana project that you're speculating on, their Discord. He's probably in there too, either fudding or loving what's going on. Follow him on Twitter at Easy Eats Bodega. This is where Solana lives. Easy, any closing thoughts, man?
No, I appreciate you having me. Appreciate the conversation. It's always a benefit to share the soul space. Hoping more people kind of take that dive in. Appreciate the lack of gas and appreciate the conversation, Pia. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Everyone, make sure you follow him, and subscribe to this channel. Subscribe. If you're watching, just please, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And while you're at it, like the video. It's not that big of a deal to just click the little thumbs up, just like the video. We
Quick
do
like.
this every day, 7 days a week, and we do Twitter Spaces Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10:30. Thanks so much for watching. Easy Eats is a frequent guest on the Twitter Spaces basically every day. Catch you guys next time.